underwater romantic scene in the film. So tell us about that.
Underwater romantic sequence.
You shot with Salman Khan.
Yes.
How was it?
I feel that he just has this like...
Kamal sir, he said like, I'm gonna leave the place, and he was furious, of course. So that time, did you like, okay, my debut is gonna be jeopardized, or what's gonna happen?
I was thinking like...
Hi, this is Gaurang from ZoomTV.com, and I have with me extremely talented and definitely beautiful Pooja Kumar. She's here for Vishwaroopam 2, so let's talk to her about it. Hello.
Hello. Namaskar.
Namaskar. So, before we talk about Vishwaroopam 2, let me ask you about Vishwaroopam 1.
Yes.
So, how did that happen for you, and how was the journey of 5 years?
So I would have to tell everyone that karma, destiny, that's how this happened. I'm based in New York, and Kamal sir saw my work online, and he saw one of my films called Drawing with Chalk. And in that, I get quite upset at my husband. So I think he saw that scene and said, okay, maybe that'll work for Vishwaroopam. So he contacted my manager, and my manager said, you know, there's this actor, he's in India, his name is Kamal Haasan, we have no idea who he is. I was like, what? Huh? Excuse me? What? Are you sure? I mean, I couldn't believe it at that time. So then I told him, "Theek hai, I'll handle this." And I set up a call with sir, and he got on Skype. And he goes, hello. And I said, hello, sir. And he goes, hi, I'm Kamal Haasan. I said, sir, we know who you are. And he said, oh, have you seen any of my movies? I said, yeah, of course I've seen your movies. Because मेरी जो पहली फिल्म थी जो मैंने देखी थी वहाँ पे USA में was एक दूजे के लिए.
Oh, amazing.
And I was like floored because he was someone who could do Bharatanatyam in like this manly way and make it look so like graceful at the same time. I mean, I don't know if anyone can picturize that, but he made it like look awesome. So, and then after that conversation, he hung up the phone, and that's it. And I was like, Arey, Pooja, you should have said more. You should have like said you liked his movies and you liked this and all, and then because you know you just get blank when you're speaking to someone like that. And then uske baad, 5 days later, I'm on a plane to Chennai. And I arrived there, and he gives me 5 pages of dialogues in Tamil. अच्छा, इस मूवी में हम लोग bilingual कर रहे हैं, हम लोग हिंदी में कर रहे हैं और तमिल में. तो एक बार हम लोग सीन हिंदी में करते हैं और फिर उसके बाद हम लोग तमिल में करते हैं. ये तो मैं पहली बार कर रही हूँ. अच्छा, and that too, I don't know Tamil. Hindi also is my second language, right? मैंने क ख ग घ और वो सब सीखा है मैंने. A E E U. So like, it was both the languages were foreign to me. And he said, yeah, but no problem. He didn't ask anything. And when I was arriving into Chennai, I didn't know what character I was playing or what role I was going to play. But when someone like Kamal Haasan calls you up, you don't really question anything. And then after the first month of shooting, he liked my work and then signed me up for a 3-picture deal.
Oh. So you weren't aware that this is gonna be a Bollywood debut as well, because it was in Hindi as well.
No, I knew it was a bilingual, and I knew at the time when we were shooting it, we're gonna do it twice. But I didn't think of it as a debut for me because I'd already been doing independent cinema, and I've done about 15 independent movies and like 5 Hollywood films. So I wasn't thinking of it as a debut because I thought, ठीक है, मैंने काम तो किया है already, तो debut कहाँ से आ गया? So I wasn't thinking of it in that way. But now that you mention it, yeah, it is that.
So, there are many actors I know who will do anything to work with Kamal Haasan.
And they should.
And you are not just working with him, you are directed by him as well. How was that? Direction as well as acting.
So he was the writer, the producer, the director, and my love interest. Okay. So, and I'm doing bilingual. It was a lot to handle. Okay, it was like stressful, but at the same time exciting. There were some days where it was just, oh my God, I can't handle this. And then some days where you are just floored at what are the possibilities. So I had this strategy for myself, which was like a switch on, switch off. So as soon as the camera was, cut, then I'd like listen to the director and the writer, producer part of him. And then obviously when the camera's on, then you're in your character and you're not listening to any of that part, and you go into the into your character and the love interest. So it was It was very, very nerve-wracking, like every day on the set. Even though he makes you feel very, comfortable and you can, act with him, sort of seamlessly. लेकिन फिर भी कुछ है, मतलब there's like that, aura. So
He's charismatic.
yeah, I mean he is. There's no doubt. So you've met him, so you know.
No, I haven't, but I have
Okay.
seen him, and I
Yeah.
was like,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's a tricky one: is he a better actor or a director?
I can't really say that. Don't put me in that position, Gaurav. No, they're different, right?
Yeah.
I think in actuality, when you're a director, you're looking at the whole thing. And then when you're an actor, you're looking just at that character. So I think he does both of them brilliantly because I think his foundation was as a dance choreographer first.
Yeah.
So he always looked at the whole picture as far as like what I know about his history. So, and I think that's what's made him actually a better actor. And that's something I learned, while shooting was that I always looked at it from the character point of view and the actor and what's my motivation, like what's my history, backstory and all of that. But this was after working with Sir. उसके बाद मतलब मैंने realize किया है कि हम लोगों को मतलब पूरी picture को देखनी पड़ती है. And then we see it in that sense, then I think our acting actually gets better.
So I'll rephrase it. Which side did you enjoy more working with?
The director.
The director.
Yeah. Because I think the actor, I was just thinking of him as my love interest.
Yeah,
I wasn't
right.
thinking of Kamal sir as the actor that I'm acting opposite. Because once you do that, then I've kind of ruined the character that he's like brilliantly written for, for me. So that's what I sort of really didn't concentrate too much on. But the director I did because that's where I was getting, all the guidance.
That's great.
Yeah.
So I was reading on the internet, I was searching about you, and then there was this news, there are 2-3 articles which said that there's going to be an underwater romantic scene in the film. So tell us about that.
Underwater romantic sequence? No,
I saw a fight scene in the trailer. I didn't see a romantic scene.
No, there's no underwater romantic scene because this is not Shape of Water. Okay, this is an action movie above ground. But I do, one scene I have is an underwater action sequence that I do myself. And so I'm a certified scuba diver, and that sort of helped me, obviously, being able to do that. And we shot the whole underwater action sequence in Bangkok. Okay. And so that's kind of new and I think interesting for this movie, and I don't think people have seen sort of a woman doing that, which is kind of a first of its kind. So that'll be interesting to see. But there's no romantic sequence underwater.
Underwater,
no,
okay.
No,
so there's
it's above water.
Yeah. So talking about romantic scenes, like, in my opinion, like there was Raj Kapoor and then there is Kamal Haasan. The way they shoot romantic scenes,
brilliant,
so aesthetically and so realistically. In fact, in Vishwaroopam 1 as well, there was this brilliant scene, and what we see in trailer, that shot looks perfect. I think you shared that, Jeff. Tell us about that.
Kamal sir comes from a place of honesty, and I think that's what comes through. He's not apologetic about romancing because husband and wife, I mean, you are romancing, right? Or you have those intimate scenes with each other. So he's just being realistic and truthful for what the characters would do. And in the first part, if you see, there really isn't any romance because she's on the verge.
The climactic scene.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they're husband and wife, but they're on, she's ready to give him a divorce, right? In the beginning, because she's like, ये तो dancer है, मतलब वो
and she isn't even aware what he.
हाँ, तो मतलब वो बिल्कुल aware नहीं है कि वो क्या है, मतलब क्या अवतार वो मतलब उसके सामने वो like how he's like portraying anything. So that was interesting for part one, whereas like we don't see the romance, but we see the separation, and then we see them sort of grow more into love, which I think is really cute and sort of interesting because, when we get married and, we sort of get bored, right, with each other. So this kind of, I think, gives people this idea that you could rekindle that romance, and it can be interesting, even after 5 years or 10 years or 15 years.
So where are the two characters as far as the relationship is concerned in the second part?
So so she starts falling for him big time, right? Because she's just like, my husband is like this secret spy and he's saving the country, and so she's not a raw agent, right? And she's not prideful of her country. In fact, she left there, right, to go to America to get her green card. So none of this was part of her whole being, and suddenly she kind of realizes and sort of transforms that maybe there is more to life than just herself. You know, she's very much about her self-motivation and what she wants out of life. But he's actually taught her that our lives actually, you know, mean more than just ourselves. And we have a duty, like, which is for the greater good. And so she also gets on board with these 4 other agents and helps sort of, you know, contact and get the villains from, you know, getting another bomb outside of where they should be having a bomb.
Will this be a conclusion, or there's going to be a third part?
I can't reveal that to you. Maybe. There could be a part 3.
Okay.
You never know.
Okay, so were you?
Because this is kind of like a James Bond movie, right? I mean, and he has that ability to do that.
No, maybe I'm not. Maybe the story, like this particular story, like Rahul Bose was the villain in the first part.
Yes.
Maybe that his arc is closed, and then next mission.
You never know. It's a good idea. I will suggest it to sir.
Yeah. So were you aware, like when 2013, when the film ended, that you have to come back for the second part? Because I think they announced it that time.
Yeah, no. So when we were shooting in the beginning, हम लोगों को बिल्कुल idea नहीं था कि ये 2 parts होंगी. We just thought कि एक ही part होंगी, and then that's it. And but towards the middle of our shooting, there were like some rumors about it, and sir hadn't confirmed it with us. But जब हम लोगों ने shooting खत्म की थी at the first part, then he said that yeah, we're gonna shoot this in 2 parts, and you know, I would like you to be on board for it. And I'm like, yeah, of course. So yes. Then by the end, we knew that it was going to be the second part.
Okay. So like you were also there in Uttam Villain, and which have been your favorite Kamal Haasan film?
My favorite Kamal Haasan film, I would have to say Sadma.
Oh, Sadma. Everyone loves Sadma.
I mean, you can watch that movie over and over and over again and still feel the same.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, you still feel those emotions. You still feel like, oh, like these characters and these people, like what they went through. And I think it's kind of a good reminder of trying to be empathetic towards people, you know. And he was just so realistic. Him and Sridevi's chemistry is like, wow, brilliant.
In fact, that climax scene I've watched so many times on YouTube. I don't know why I do that to myself, but
because it gets you, it's so depressing.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but then I don't know if somehow it's depressing, but it kind of instills in some emotions in you, right? Like you kind of, it's weird. It's like this dual feeling that you have inside. कि मतलब happy भी feel कर रहे हैं, but like sad भी feel कर रहे हैं, फिर it's hard to explain. So, but you keep on wanting to watch it. There's another one he did called Mahanadi. That you have to see. That is also one where it's like, like non-stop crying and just you can't believe what's happening.
No, I prefer his Badass Avatar better, like in Nayakan or other places. So,
that's because you're a guy. I mean, you're gonna like that, you know. We're girls, so we like all that emotional sobby stuff.
So you also went to Das Ka Dam and you shot with Salman Khan.
Yes.
How was it?
He's awesome. I didn't realize. I mean, I knew he was awesome, but you know, when you meet him in person, you're like, man, this guy's energy is truly fantastic, and I feel that he just has this like presence and this aura, and that's what these kind of these guys have. Like they have this presence and this aura that you just want to be around them. And yeah, he was pretty awesome.
I can just imagine, like, there Salman Khan is there and now Kamal Haasan is there and
I was like, I better not say anything. I just better be quiet, because if I do say something, it'll probably be really dumb. So it's better to be quiet and just enjoy the moment. So yeah.
So living in America, were you like acquainted with the Hindi films and you used to watch regularly?
बिल्कुल, मतलब हमारी पैदाइश तो वहीं पर हुई थी, लेकिन my mom and dad introduced me to Indian cinema in such a great way. My mom was a film buff, my dad was a film buff, so they used to, in 1970, they would get the big film reels, and they would go to the bus station, pick up the film reels, and then rent out a theater at the local college, and put the film reel all, and then like invite all the Indians that were there. My dad was the 3rd Indian in St. Louis, Missouri. So, and he was the one who started the India Association of St. Louis. So that's how I started watching movies. And so every weekend he would drive down to the bus station, pick it up, and then pack it up again, and then deliver it back to India.
That's huge love for movies because getting the whole reel.
Yeah, you remember they were
Yeah,
this
I get
big.
it. The film.
The film thing, and like, and you had to carry it, and it was so heavy, and you had to be careful at that time because it was like 35 millimeter film stock.
Oh.
So, and it was cold, and it was winter time, right, throughout in St. Louis. So you had winter, you had summer, you had spring, and so you had to be careful of how you got it delivered. But that's how I got introduced to them. So I would start watching them as a kid. Of course, the first one I remember is when Ek Duje Ke Liye came out.
Ek Duje Ke Liye, yeah.
My mom and dad would take me as a baby and watch all the other ones, and then I'd have to go back and watch them again.
Okay. So which has been your favorite, apart from Ek Duje Ke Liye, which was the first, which was your favorite film, any film growing up?
Oh my gosh. I loved Pakiza.
Okay.
I loved Pakiza. I loved Mughal-e-Azam. These were like classic films, which I just was mesmerized by the cinematography, and like the female characters were so strong at that time, you know, and it was like inspiring to see those women have this gamut of emotions, you know, and they were so young and they were able to portray these like fantastic characters, which I don't think they were thinking at that time, right? They were just being, I think, in the moment, or they were just being these women. And those were movies where I just felt like it really changed Indian cinema.
But I think that got lost in the 80s and 90s. Now it's coming back again. With Razi and Padmavat, and now you're having this underwater badass action scene.
I think now it's changing because women are having a little bit more confidence to go out, right? They're working in IT, you know, companies that work at night now, whereas before that wasn't happening. You know, there was no call centers at night. So I think the women going out into the workplace has made it more available and more, I think they're cognizant of more women's stories now. Even though there have always been, like Smita Patil and Shabana Azmi have always been doing these great female-oriented films. But it's more so now, I think, on a commercial level. And it's not thought of as like art house film, whereas Shyam Benegal's movies I never thought were art house. They were great films that, you know, were just telling great stories.
So any recent film in Bollywood you watched and you loved?
I really liked Padmavati.
Okay.
I did. I didn't know about the story, and maybe that's why I was so fascinated by it. And I thought Deepika just portrayed it in such a new way that all of us could identify with. And that those women, I didn't realize they sacrificed their life. And they were thinking ahead of time. You know, they were thinking that we don't want to have children and have sort of like the next generation not be good people. So why do that? Why bring in sort of bad people into the world? So they sacrificed on so many levels, and I didn't know that. So, and again, that's what's great about Indian cinema. Like, we're talking about 4,000 years of history. तो मतलब कोई story तो कमी नहीं है यहाँ पे.
Controversy थी भी फिर उसके बाद.
वो तो है. That I don't know why. क्योंकि उसमें कोई वो ऐसा नहीं था कि controversial हो. मतलब मुझे तो ऐसा नहीं लग रहा था कि राजस्थान में या कहीं पे भी किसी को offend कर रहे हैं. In fact, it was showcasing women in a great way. And that you can do that. I mean, you can sacrifice for the greater good and see what they did and get motivated कि हम लोग भी कर सकते हैं कुछ ऐसा. So I was quite surprised at the controversy.
Same here.
I mean, it's sort of like the whole point of Indian cinema and cinema is to have freedom of expression. और अगर आपको अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है तो आप मत जाइए theater. हाँ. और I mean, I just think that this is one place where we have that freedom to speak and have a voice. And the best part about cinema is that we can, you know, portray humanity and show emotions where, like, you know, people in their daily lives can sort of learn from. And I think we also want to see people on screen who do extraordinary things, because we can't do that in our real life,
like
right?
Fantasy.
Yeah, so that's what's so, we should not stop that, and we shouldn't stop filmmakers or artists from doing that.
In fact, something similar happened with Vishwaroopam 1 as well.
Yes.
When Kamal sir, he said like, I'm going to leave the place, and he was furious, of course. So that time, did you like, okay, my debut is going to be jeopardized, or what's going to happen?
I wasn't thinking that at all. In fact, I was thinking like, I was saddened, actually. I was really hurt because I couldn't believe that our country, who has like one of the best filmmakers in the world, and you're going to stop him from showcasing his movie. I mean, proof is in the pudding. I mean, he's given 50 years to cinema. He has changed cinema. He has motivated people to do different things. And I was really hurt and sad because we're stopping a man like him from showcasing his work. And in fact, we should be supporting him, encouraging him, and even like telling him and doing everything that we can to get that movie out there. So I was hurt actually by that, not like, oh my God, my debut was gonna get messed up. And it was sad that a man of his caliber had to say he's gonna leave his own country. I mean, that was sad, a really big statement for someone to say, especially him, because he fights for people. You can see that in all of his movies. He's a people person, and he wants, people to do well.
So you have been a part of quite a few Hollywood films and American TV series, and when you were doing that at that time, so Indian actors, they were not known there as much, like among the Hollywood bigwigs. But now Priyanka Chopra she's doing great. Yes. So did you ever anticipate that, a thing like that gonna happen, that there'll be a crossover star from India, completely different culture and everything?
I knew. I mean, look, we had already people like Persis Kambata, right? She came and she did Star Trek. Yeah. Unfortunately, she fell sick, so she couldn't continue on, right? She passed away of cancer. So we already had women coming in and, doing things. We had, Lila Dubai doing, some roles. We have Om Puri. We had...
even
Irfan Khan. We had Amrish Puri. So we had people coming in and showcasing their work and in a great role. It wasn't just the cab driver or the one-line guest starring role where you just come in and you don't say anything. So I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of time.
Just a matter of time.
When I first started out in the U.S., there weren't that many roles for women. It was just not happening. And I think now with multiculturalism and diversity, and America just being this melting pot, they want to see different kinds of people. And they have to now, because that's what America is all about. Is like, it's not, what is the American culture? Actually, American culture is Chinese, Japanese, I mean, it's a mix. Yeah. And that's what's similar to India, I think, also. Like, India also has 26 different states. Yeah. We have 26 different languages, religions, food. I mean, I almost think like US and India is so similar. I mean, we should call it like United States of India, because it's like, it's the same. And that, I think, is evident in now, like, people coming over to the US and adapting. And I think having brown people there, I mean, Priyanka has just done awesome. Yeah. And it's amazing because for a brown woman to be on a mainstream TV show and to make it successful is rare. Yeah, that's something. She leads the show. I mean, we have so many people who try to lead the show and hasn't been successful. Exactly. But her, Mindy Kaling, and now Vanity Fair, the editor, is this girl named Radhika Jones. So, we've got Indra Nui, we've got these women who are doing a lot, in America. And I'm happy, and I think, it's about time.
Yeah, but there's something which still they need to overcome, is that I think Deepika was there, and quite a few times on paparazzi she was called Priyanka Chopra. And Priyanka also said that she's faced racism even today. So did something like that you also went through?
I was very lucky because I think I was born there, so I was sort of, I never looked at it that way. And being in St. Louis, Missouri, amongst all Caucasian white people, I don't know, my parents sort of instilled it that I'm just as equal. Yeah. So I never felt that discrimination. But I will tell you, after September 11th, it was different. Yeah. I think Americans didn't know the difference between Afghanis, Pakistanis, Middle Eastern, Iranian, Iraqis, and Indians. They didn't know the difference. And the only good thing that came out of September 11th is that they're now more aware. So that was the time where I felt a little uncomfortable and people kind of like, taking a second look. But it's not that way anymore. And I think it's the way, you have to carry yourself. And of course, I mean, people tell me like, "Oh, are you like Priyanka? I mean, are you like Priyanka? Are you Priyanka? Are you Deepika?" Like, because I think brown is just they think brown person, so then they're all the same, right? But it's changing now. I think now they are seeing us in sort of this unique way, and now that we're just going to bombard them, right? Like they have no choice but to know us now.
That'll be great.
Yes.
So Vishwaroopam 2 is releasing on August 10.
Yes.
So what's next after that for you?
I just produced a short film,
Okay.
which is called A Nice Girl, and that's going to do the festival circuit next year. And I'm hoping that I can develop that into a full-length feature. So that's what I'm working on right now. And then I also have 2 projects that are in development, which I'm going to executive produce.
So are you can we see you in a Bollywood film soon?
Yes, hopefully. No, I have actually 2 stories that have come my way. One's in Tamil and one's in Hindi. So I'll let you know once I sign on the dotted line.
Yes, that would be great because I loved you in Vishwaroopam.
Thank you. Yeah, no.
Amazing, yeah. So,
Yeah.
And
I hope to do more Hindi cinema.
looking
yes.
forward to Vishwaroopam 2.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was really great chatting with you.
Nice to chat with you. Thank you.